The Dorrclave is annoying to get. It's not hard, just tedious. Not only do you have to build a room specifically for the Dorrclave and Dagath, you also have to do a specific mission in Ceres after buying Abyssal Beacons from the Syndicates, because you need Abyssal Beacons to even access the mission. Now, what you get from the mission is the currency, Vein Thorns. You need 80 for the Dorrclave, and you get 6 to 8 on normal, 8, 11, or 12 on Steel Path. The mission is an exterminate mission, so it's very easy. The thing is, you have to find a Defixios and bring it to the end of the mission. You don't have to carry it the whole way, you can complete the kill requirement and then go find one and bring it to the end. If you ask the other Syndicate guys there, they'll give you a hint to where one is. And when you pick it up, it gives you a debuff. I did it in Steel Path because potentially getting 6 when needing 80 would annoy me. So it took me roughly 40-ish minutes. It's not bad, just very tedious. I didn't talk about the other materials needed because they're extremely easy to get. It's an S tier farm. Easy mission, no dojo research, common materials, just tedious exterminate mission. The Dorrclave also doesn't feel that bad to use. Mainly its stance and stats. Boasting a decent 26 crit, 24 status, it is a bit slow but has a passive that after 10 kills for the next 10 hits, it gets 0.5 follow throw and 100% more status chance. So, status builds seem to be the play, as it does for a lot of other weapons too. Other than that, I don't know what else to say, honestly. Melee weapons are all kind of the same in terms of their function. I'll try my best, but other than changing the stance, or if it's a crit or status-focused melee weapon. Sometimes passives play a huge role, other times they don't matter at all. Or it doesn't even have one to begin with and just has decent stats. There may be some arcane or mod for certain melee weapons and certain melee types that make it a rune clearer, but others it's niche and rare. They generally all do decent damage to have whichever one you want, honestly. Unless it's the Mark 1 bow. The guns don't really act that way. They all are very different, actually. Still, the Dorrclave is fine. It works and it has good stats. I'd say B tier. S tier. You literally only need 35,000 standing, which is just 2 daily resets for me, and rank 5 at the Hex. However, you can easily get the standing needed with bounties, standing items, and the missions in general. Buy it from Minerva, and the materials are also easy. Just play 1999, and you'll be able to get it no problem. The dual Visciss themselves, however, are a gas-focused dual swords, which gas is an element that is good on heavy attacking focused melee weapons and builds. Does this apply to dual swords? Yeah, if you use melee influence, putting electric on it, and go with some Tennokai. Other than that, it has a passive where each gas stack inflicted upon an enemy increases your movement and attack speed per stack up to 5 stacks. So it's a dual sword with good stats, a passive that increases your speed, and with gas, there's options, but still not the best in my opinion. Still, it is pretty good. It's a really good statted dual sword, and honestly, I'd say A tier. They're pretty good. Everything that I said about the Argo and Veil and Azothane 2 or 3 videos ago applies here too. 5 runs of Duviri, super easy. Materials are gained throughout Duviri's map in multiple locations. Super easy. S tier. And in general, I use the Guandao Prime as my main melee weapon. This thing is essentially the Guandao Prime, but slightly better, sporting a little less damage and less slash, but still favoring it, more crit and the same status. Same attack speed, more sweep distance, and a better Riven disposition. I'm only prefacing you with this comparison because I really like my Guandao Prime. So if I rate my Guandao A to S, this thing is also A to S. That being said, it also has a passive which I find to be whatever, but it can help. Every heavy attack you throw, the spear kinda slowly throws and it explodes after a few seconds after impact. I ran into this either mechanic or bug that sometimes when I would heavy attack while they were in my reticle and close enough, I would zoom at them and it would throw past them because I would teleport next to them, which really annoyed me. It's kind of whatever, and it does whatever damage. I still think it's a good weapon, honestly. It's just a good stat stick. I'd go A tier. The Ekhein blueprint is obtained from Bird 3 in the Sanctum. You have to be rank 3 with the Kavia to be able to buy it, or you can probably get it from ranking up with them too. Maybe. Still, do bounties to get standing, and I'd advise against using Voca to get standing since you need it to craft things, unless you have the ship that shows you where those items are in the map. Regardless, the materials needed to craft the Ekhein are all obtained in the bounties or Netrid cells tile set. Intradi Obols and the Necrocoil are the enemy and container drop materials, while the 10 Shrill Voca and Intradi Lanthorn can be a little bit difficult. I have a lot of each, but Shrill Voca is the hardest since it's the syndicate items and you have to pick them up from the bounties. It can also be awarded from the bounties in a quantity of 1 when you also just need 10. And every 8 hours you can buy 1 from Lloyd using resources. So it could take a while for those if you want to wait, or you could, go in bounties and get them pretty easily if you have the ship, or just keep looking around. The Intradi Lanthorn are easier, and you only need 3. You get them guaranteed from Netricel runs, Gruslings have a chance to drop 3, it's on rotation rewards of endless missions, and in the Zeramin from containers or enemy drops. It can be difficult if luck is not on your side. I'd say this farm is about a B to A tier. Now with that being said, hammers in Warframe are really cool, but not really used. The Ekhein is probably going to fall into that category, even though it can be really good when used with Cooler Bow and specifically Tennokai, because it has a passive where when landing a heavy attack, it gets 80% increased damage and 20% more attack speed. Additive, I believe, which is also fine, but other than that, it's a impact only hammer with 30 crit, 2.4 multiplier, and 15% status. So unless there's a Warframe or Arcane or mod like Hemorrhage but for melees that do the same thing, which I looked and really doesn't seem like it, Tennokai, Cooler Bow / Slam builds seem to be the play for this weapon. I'd say B, still not terrible. The final Paratia Rebellion weapon that I need, besides the artifacts that I need to level my amps, but we don't worry about that right now. Literally everything I said though about the Sigek Prime applies here. 3 orders is 1 A rotation, you can generally do 9 to 12 in 1 mission. The drop chance is 5.71% for every part, and there's a bunch of other items, but it has the highest drop chance. I got the Galariak when we farmed for the Sigek Prime. However, the materials are still the real grind because they are not plentiful and you specifically have to farm those materials in that mission. I elected to stay on the Minefield order because I noticed that a lot more enemies spawned on that order than other ones. Like, they just kept spawning and spawning and spawning, which was good because you need a lot of materials. It took 3 runs, so 36 to 38 minutes because of the boss. You could try for the 3% chance on an A rotation drop for the materials, but honestly, don't even risk it, just go for the enemy drops. And bring a fast nuking frame and you'll be fine. I don't think Korra or Necros or Atlas would be great here because it's like big open areas, you can't really lock down a place, but you can make them come to you, but you wouldn't kill them fast enough because they'd spawn far away. Maybe if you bring someone else. Anyway, it's going in the same tier as the Sigek. The Galariak, however, will not be going in the same tier for potential with the Sigek, because its passive is actually kinda good. You get a flat 10 crit chance on the target you're hitting per status chance on the target, with 14 valid statuses being available to you. So if you like statuses, then this thing is for you. It has 32% status chance, 19% crit chance, and a 2.5 crit multiplier at a base, good damage, and a fast attack speed. Since it also does puncture damage melee, it allows more crit on an enemy up to 25% more. So as long as an enemy is either primed by the weapon itself or a primer, this thing can hit pretty well. And maybe condition overload, I'm not sure. I don't know if that thing is even good anymore or even relevant in status builds. Still, this thing can be pretty good. It can go really high with crit, so if you do a lot of crit damage, a lot of status, I think you'll be fine. A to S tier. That'll be it for this video. I decided not to do any really changes to the tier list because the prime items are just whatever. They're going to be where they are for when I farm relics. So to me, that's fine. If anything, if I'm convinced, I'll just put them in it depends, honestly. But other than that, the last time I had 3585 on my workout counter. And from the last video to this one, I've only done 175. But yeah, other than that, the next video is going to be the Ghoul Saw, the Harmony, the Hespar, the Inodem, and the Korudo. I really got nothing much else to say, so if you stuck around and watched this whole video, thank you. As always, take care of yourself.